Hello everyone, this is Giovany, BackYard Flick Reviews. Today I'm going to be joined by my cousin Jacob.
Hello.
As we review the upcoming film, The Happy Time Murders, starring Melissa McCartney, Elizabeth Banks, and Maya Rudolph. So this movie is directed by Brian Henson, who is the son of Jim Henson, who is the creator of all the puppets that we know about, you know, from the Muppet movies, I believe also from Sesame Street. So this type of film is definitely not for kids. As I'm sure you guys have seen in the trailers, it's an R-rated movie. It's kind of vulgar, a lot of strong language, sexual stuff, violence if you want to call it, I guess, even though it's violence with puppets, so you're not going to see a lot of blood. But this film had a little bit of controversy before it came out. Sesame Street, the creators of Sesame Street, or the studio, whoever's doing Sesame Street nowadays, they try to sue the studio, STX, who is making this movie, because they're saying that it's going to taint their reputation. When you see all these puppets cussing and doing all this weird stuff, of course that lawsuit didn't go anywhere because, you know, under the law and whatnot, it's kind of like a parody, so that's already been ruled that it's legal in the United States, so that didn't really go anywhere. So the plot of the story is like this. So when the puppet cast of an 80s children's TV show began to get murdered one by one, a disgraced LAPD detective turned private eye puppet takes on the case. And then, of course, his partner in crime, or partner in law enforcement or whatever, is being joined by Melissa McCartney. So she's like the main star of the film as far as the human star of the film. So they just go around and trying to figure out this case and whatnot, and there's just some history, some background between those two main characters, the disgraced puppet and Melissa McCartney's character, and they just try to solve this case. So as far as the plot's concerned, that's basically what that is. It's not really something new that you haven't heard about. It's your typical buddy cop murder movie or whatever. They're trying to find who done it, and instead there's puppets involved, and it is a comedy, so there's a lot of jokes in the film, many jokes actually, but I personally didn't really find most of them to be funny. So I'm gonna shoot it to you, Jacob. So as far as the comedy in this movie, did you enjoy the comedy? Did you like the movie?
Oh, the movie definitely kept me entertained, but some of the jokes did miss for me. Like some of the jokes, we could tell they're trying too hard to be funny. It just kind of missed for me. But those subtle moments where they just like scream out something, I don't know. To me, it was just funny.
So overall, you did find Happy Time Murders funny?
Yeah, except for like the human parts. It was mainly like the puppets that were getting to me. The humans, they were just like, yeah, they were just trying too hard. Especially with like Melissa McCarthy's character. It was just kind of whatever to me. Or like his assistant, the detective's assistant that is in his office. She was just whatever's. I didn't even care for her that much, but it's mainly the puppets for me that really did for me.
Yeah, Melissa McCartney didn't really do it for me in this movie. It looks like she seems to have the same type of jokes in all of her movies. Like I think I mentioned this to you and Alex when we saw the movie. I think that they like let her do some improv when it comes to some of the comedy scenes, and it just seems like she always does the same style, like the same type of joke.
She kind of like plays the same character in most of her movies.
Well, yeah, that too, and it seems like he does it in every single movie. So that's why I don't think it was written. I think it might have been like some improv, because I know that there's different writers in the films that she's in sometimes. So that's why I don't think it was written for her. I think she just kind of does it. But it's kind of like the same thing. There's a lot of cringeworthy moments with Melissa McCartney when she's trying to be funny and she just really is not. There's a lot of scenes that tries to deliver these big laughs, but there was just like crickets.
Again, for me, those were like the human scenes when like it was like, you know, Melissa's character and like her, you know, the detective's assistant, like they were just walking around trying to be funny.
Maya Rudolph, the assistant, yeah, the girl, right?
Yeah, she was a miss for me. Those scenes for me, they were just kind of Yeah, crickets for me.
Yeah, the scenes that because she started to appear kind of like in this towards the end of the second act into the third act.
Yeah, she was like a side character, and then she turned to like a kind of a main character.
And then and then she's like a lot in a lot of the scenes towards the end, and she does some comical things, and I mean she's done some funny stuff in other movies like Bridesmaids and other stuff, but I think that has to do obviously with the script. But she was pretty bad. The jokes there were just like, oh fuck.
She was better just like as the assistant, just saying a few lines.
Just not trying to be funny.
Not trying to like take the scenes or whatever. It was better when she was just like assistant.
Yeah, and then what's the one actor, the one that's the FBI agent?
The guy from the guy from The Soup or from The Office? I don't know their names.
The FBI agent that's like at the end he's all like when Melissa McCartney puts the gun down, and then he's all like, put your gun down because I couldn't see it or whatever.
Yeah, the guy from The Soup.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Anyway, so that guy really was trying to be funny. He was in that TV show Community, I think. And anyway, so his scenes were also really bad. They were not funny at all. And I mean, he's a comedian. So, his name is Joel McHale? I think that's his name.
That sounds right. I don't know. I just seen him in The Soup, and I liked him in The Soup. So when I saw him in this, I got a little excited. But yeah, his scenes were just they weren't that funny.
Oh, and then we have Leslie Baker. He's the guy from The Office, and he had some lines there too, and he was not funny in those lines either. I think it's just gonna go down to the writing because I've seen this guy, Leslie Baker, in The Office, and he's funny in those scenes and in the episodes that he's in. So again, I think that has to do with the writing. I liked it at the beginning of the movie, like maybe the first 5 minutes, because you get like the impact, like, oh, we have this puppet fucking driving around LA and shit, and then he's trying to get a taxi cab or whatever, and then they don't give him the treatment that they should, kind of like a second class citizen, and he's all like cussing at the taxi driver and shit, and that was funny, but that was like within the first 2 minutes, but then it wears off real fast, like the whole puppet world thing. It gets old really fast. The story's not something new. I mean, it's not something that we haven't seen before. You've seen that in a lot of those 80s buddy cop movies or action movies. I was really relying on the story at this point because, like I said, the comedy was not delivering. So I was like, well, hopefully the story is cool, but it just wasn't. It got really dull. It was kind of boring. I wasn't interested in the overall story, and it was a fairly short movie, but I was like, well, when is this movie gonna end? Or the overall premise was promising. I think they could have done something good with it. I mean, I really think it just needed to be funnier, or it just needed to be funny, period. But what do you think, Jacob? What about the story, the narrative, and all that?
Surprisingly, it kind of kept me like throughout the movie. I was interested in the story. I actually enjoyed the characters, like in regards to the puppets. Like the main character detective we follow, I really kind of like going to like him, which I didn't think I was gonna. I thought it was gonna be like a shitty comedy, which I would find a couple things funny. But I did enjoy the story. I thought it was interesting. The jokes, like, some were pretty bad, but it just worked for me. It just I know I'm in the minority in it too because Rotten Tomatoes is pretty bad, but
it's like 26% or something.
Jeez. But like to me, it was entertaining. It kept me from getting bored throughout the movie. And it was short. It did feel a little bit longer than what it actually was, but I enjoyed the story. I thought it was interesting. The dynamic was pretty good between the two characters for me. And the jokes, some jokes really did hit for me, and some jokes, just slipped. But
if this movie was 2 hours long, I would really hate this movie. Like I don't like this movie. I don't think it's good. And what I'm gonna rate it, it's gonna be a pretty low grade. But if it was like 2 hours, I might have walked out actually. If I knew it wasn't almost about to be over. A good thing it was a short 90-minute movie. So you think this is gonna be like a guilty pleasure for you, Jacob?
Definitely, it's a guilty pleasure. But I'll watch it again. Like not in the near future, but like down the line, I'll watch it again for the hell of it.
So if we're to compare it to other movies that are kind of similar, like Sausage Party, which is an animated movie. It's raunchy. It's something you don't normally expect. It's usually for children. Sausage Party is a movie you can compare it to this movie. And then there's Team America, which it's Matt Parker and wait, am I missing those up?
Yeah, Trey Parker, isn't it? Oh, shit.
Trey Stone? No,
Matt Stone and like Trey Parker.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. There you go.
Take that shit out.
Trey Parker. Yeah, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the guys from South Park, and the Book of Mormon. So anyway, so they created Team America, World Police. It's kind of like that too. It's a movie regarding puppets, different kind of puppets, like literal puppets. And those are what you would think would be like a children's movie, but it's, like I said, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. So it's going to be adult-oriented, very vulgar, and all that stuff. So I liked both of those other movies, and I thought maybe this movie, Happy Time Murders, might be like that. I did have a feeling that I'm going to either really hate this movie or I'm going to really like it. So it ended up being, I really don't like it. So I guess I don't really hate it, but I really don't like it. Like, really didn't like it. It might change later, actually. It might end up being really hated. But so right now, let's just stick to really don't like it. And so you've seen the other two movies, right? Sausage Party and Team America, Jacob?
I haven't seen Team America in easily over a decade, I think. But I think I saw it when it came out. I was like really young. But I saw Sausage Party when it came out, and I surprisingly liked that. I thought it was gonna be like a stupid movie, but I think that might be the reason I kind of looking forward to Happy Time Murders. Because if it wasn't for Sausage Party, I might think this was just some shitty comedy.
So did you like Sausage Party more than?
Yeah, I like Sausage Party way more. I laughed like way more in Sausage Party than I did for Happy Time Murders. And overall, I think Sausage Party was like a better movie.
And you definitely like Happy Time Murders more than I did.
Yeah, I definitely did like way more than you did, but because I liked it in general. You didn't like it at all.
Which gets to our grade and the 3 S's. Okay, so my grade's going to be a D plus for the Happy Time Murders. That's a D plus, D like David, D like dog. And this is definitely a skip it. If you couldn't really tell by the D plus, this is definitely a skip it. The reason why I don't give it an F is because, like I said, the premise was promising. They could have done something good with it. So, and I did like the first 5 minutes, I guess, first 5 minutes or so. So that's why it's not a full-on F, but it's a D plus for me. So then you, Jacob?
For me, it's a C. Could have been way better. It could have been a lot worse for me. But and also it's gonna be a stream it. But if you have friends over and you guys are, you guys have nothing else to do, to stream it for me. But if you're watching it by yourself, nah. All
right, so then that wraps up the Happy Time Murders. Make sure that you guys are following me on Instagram, BackYard Flicks. I put a lot of reviews, some reviews that I can't do on video or on podcast style like this one. So I put some reviews on there too, and some movie news. I do some other giveaways like digital copies. The next digital copy I'm doing is Hereditary, so look up for that one on my Instagram. And I'm also doing some backyard flick talk or backyard horror talk for the month of October. It's going to be The Exorcist and some slasher films, and then Halloween and some other potential horror flicks for the month of October. So make sure you're looking out for that one. And a special thanks to my cousin Jacob for joining me in this Happy Time Murders review. But that wraps everything up here. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much for subscribing. And I'll see you guys next time.